If you're new here, me and John, we're crypto miners. We started a crypto mine. We are resellers, and we're here to document our journey. So come along with us. So with potential firmware updates, how's the noise comparison between cheaper boxes like the L3 and S9? So that's a good question because there's already the newer firmware that we were just talking about that is in process of being built. I don't think that's going to be really scalable on the L3s, S9s. But if you're like talking like Hive, it's actually pretty good. It already, like currently, you flash Hive onto, or you can even do like Awesome Miner or other miners, any miner that can really give you fan control. And if you're in a room, you have your machine in a room that's not sweltering hot, basically molten lava all around the room, you could cut the fan speed down a little bit in theory, and reduce the decibels. There are other modifications too that I'm not really a fan of out there, just because it requires more monitoring of the machine. But there are other like quiet fans that'll do 3,000 RPMs that you can get and stick those on there. They're 4-pin connectors, go right on there, and you're off to the market with it. But just alone with the stock fans that come on it, if you're not really going balls to the wall with the hash rate and overclocking the machine, which you don't want to do that right now anyways on an L3 or an S9, it's just not feasible. It's not worth it in my opinion. Unless you have free power, then that's different. And let it scream. But beyond that,
you've done a review and we've talked about it before about the Noctua fans.
Yeah. So that's one of the modifications that I'm not really a fan of. The control board for some reason doesn't really like the Noctua fans when the machine decides it wants to hiccup. And that's a regular occurrence on the L3 and the S9s. And when I say hiccup, it just means like, it has a spike in power somewhere or something, just it goes off for just a split second and then it goes back to its normal speed. But what happens is it'll like reset any modifications that you made to the fans, or it'll reset any like tuning, like you may have to like auto tune again or put a tune in there manually.
So an issue, just what we're talking on fans that you may arise, and I'm going off a theory here. I'm not going off of something that's been tested. So if you've tested this, let me know. I know Mark has done a little bit of testing with the Noctua fans, but the typical 120 millimeter ASIC mining fans, they actually have their own built-in circuit board within the fan underneath the bearings. Now those fans in there communicate with the control boards. And if you have one fan that doesn't spin the same speed as the other, I mean, you in essence have something that could generate its own power. So if you have one fan pushing another fan, you could have a reverse charge to a control board, and that may be an issue for the control board, and that's why you may be seeing issues with some of these quieter fans that don't have the built-in integrated circuit boards within the fans themselves. The ASIC fans themselves, they have this circuit board will stop generating power if one is spinning faster than the other, and won't allow backfeeding to the circuit board. So it's kind of a built-in fail-safe. And when you're upgrading your fans, got to be careful of that, or you got to be careful of wires that are maybe disconnected or clipped on some of your fans. Fans will run on 2 wires alone, but the other 2 wires are communicating with the control board to control the speed, to control the backfeed of the airflow. So just be careful with doing some of these fan modifications. The ASIC fans are there for a reason.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I say, like, instead of going out and buying like Noctua fans that are known to be quiet and like the 3,000 RPM ones, just go into Hive settings. It's in the miner's GUI, and click the fan override button and just set the fans to 50, 60%. And you will notice a very drastic noise level difference right off the bat. And you won't have that if the machine hiccups, it just keeps running.